everyone, Karl Klausewitz, your host. I want to welcome you all to my podcast, an opportunity for you to listen to your favorites here. We'll talk to real people about their real businesses, real inspirations, real struggles, real ideas, real motives, and more importantly, their real experiences. So are you ready to witness it all? Let's get started. Maybe you could talk a little bit about how you got started. It almost seems like you've always been doing this sort of thing.
Yeah, for a little while, right? Depends how far back we want to go. I got started online in '97 with a small online mortgage company, and then that led to me being invited to New York to work on a .com there that was funded by Pets.com, would be a name that people might recognize.
Okay.
Back in the way back. It was a project called petplace.com, and then as the internet took a tumble, found myself in Miami with the founders of that company, opening up restaurants for Raquel Welch and her husband. And Raquel Welch was an actress real big in the 70s and 80s who recently passed. And it's funny telling the story. It seems like, it's like everything I say dates me now compared to how it was maybe 10, 15 years ago. It put me very relevant. Right. And so I did some real estate investing, had some success with that. And then when that market took a tumble, 2007, 2008, found myself living in Colombia with my girlfriend, now wife. And we had a baby. And fast forward, did quite a bit of travel around the world as we grew an affiliate business, and then worked on a few other projects, and then found myself 2014, 15, 16 in the content game. And that was a company called Steady Content. And then as we moved forward, we saw the AI on the horizon and knew that we needed to diversify. So that's where AgencyHub came from, and now we have over 30 products that we service in the same level of quality as we did our content, or we do our content, and we do this by bringing in other vendors. So like where a lot of companies are white label, they're doing everything in-house, we've chosen to align with larger companies that do white label for other agencies, but now they're using our three-way chat system to service our clients directly.
Wow. That's awesome. So you were getting ready for AI long before everybody jumped on the trend, it sounds like.
Yeah, I mean, getting ready for it, maybe we should have participated more in the actual robot programming, but
right.
We were ready for it by diversifying. There's certain things you can do, right, when you're not on the inside of that development curve.
Yeah. These days, everybody wants to be an expert in just that, it seems like. But so you got into content marketing at a very good time, it sounds like, too. Well, what was that like when you first
ride the waves, right?
Yep.
So content marketing I got into primarily because I wasn't able to get good content written in the market. I was doing affiliate marketing and was not getting the right content back. And we started doing content for one of our clients with a product we had called Niche Builder, and they were having some really good success converting the people into monthly content. So, being a lifelong follower of the kind of what would you call it, the rich dad, poor dad, create the passive income, I was like, wow, if we can put, just 100 people on a $297 a month plan, then you've got 30 grand a month, and you probably keep 15 of that. And now you've got a nice, stable business. Now, nothing ever works out like that, right?
You do the math and it all sounds good.
It all sounds good. You think you're going to have that. Some people do more. Some people can't afford even that. And then it becomes a situation where, like, you're putting, 50 pieces of content on someone's website every year, and they're investing $3,000 to do that, they need to see something for that other than content. They need to see monetary returns, and then it's kind of like you're no longer in the content game. People want you to help them, convert. Does this content convert? And then you find yourself kind of on the success curve of their businesses and helping them create money out of that. And then eventually we're looking at other agency services there.
So you really started looking closer at what content was working the best, I guess.
Yes.
Or you had people doing that with you.
or people just needed more help other than just content.
Mm-hmm. Right. Yeah, definitely, for sure. So it seems like you really offer kind of a full suite of services.
Yeah. So with us recently launching our pros.agencyhub side, there's probably another 30 or so products waiting to be approved right now.
Wow.
We're just adding some more updates to the system so that we're fully ready for them.
Wow. Awesome. That's
It's neat. It's, if you think of like a Fiverr, you have people from all over the world. It's not really vetted. You hire somebody, they might be good once, but then they're not good again. This is developed to help people run their monthly services. So the way this AgencyHub came about in the way that it is now is like we talk to, 100, 200 small agency owners. They're 1 to 2 people. One of the real problems that I saw was getting people onboarded quickly, meaning they would do all this ping-ponging of information back and forth. And we've seen this with our clients as well. It would be great if there was like a central repository where all of the information could be collected. But then the other bigger challenge that they're facing is they would get to 10, 15 clients and their bandwidth to go further just wasn't there. So by having the three-way chat, our providers can service their clients directly, and the agency, our staff, and the the agency and our staff are both there kind of as a fly on the wall. So like if a question's asked, one of them can say, let's say Scott is the supplier. They can say, oh, I'm sure Scott will get that for you. He gets an email on this, right? Just people knowing that they're heard is a big part of it.
Right. Yeah. That makes a lot of sense. I can understand that. So where is your market developing now? What kind of business owners are really
so we're developing something called the Agency Store or Accidental Agency. Those are both kind of working titles on it, and that's the ability for someone to take all of our products, add their own markup, either a percentage or change the individual pricing, and then have their own store on their domain. So that's kind of something that's been real popular lately. Our Google Map Boost product is very popular right now that helps people bring their local listings into the 3-pack on Google, and we use some programmatic SEO to do that. The next thing that's popular is, just people buying agency services for their clients and using the 3-way chat. We've got some business developing overseas right now in London, Australia, Sri Lanka, and then of course here in the United States as well.
Right. That's so exciting. Those are things that used to be so tedious to do all by hand for people, and now they're just a product, a reliable product that's there in a toolbox, huh? That's really awesome.
What we're seeking to do is kind of commoditize the agency market, right? So like, someone says, we'll talk to a website design company, right? And we say, okay, do you have a package price for a website? Oh no, everything's always custom, right? Well, we can say, look, for a 5-page website that's fully custom to what you want, it's going to be $2,000. At least we have a starting point. 10-page is going to be $4,000 or something along those lines, right? And so, of course you can go to Wix or something and you can get a website up for free, right? And then there's everything else in between. But let's at least have a price, right? If you need a home services website, I can put you in that with no money down and $40 a month hosting, and that comes with lead management and customer support, etc. Right? So there's different packages that fit different budgets.
Yeah. Yeah. Awesome. That's great.
You know, imagine if you went to buy a TV and there was no price tag.
Right.
Right? And you're just like, well, what do you want to watch? Right? That's, you know, what times of the day do you find yourself watching TV? You know, and they're working the price out based on this. So that's not how marketing should be. Or, you know, things should have some sort of baseline cost, and then it can be worked out from there.
Yeah, yeah. So it's like a whole different kind of take on the structure, price structure almost than that you have.
When you're seeking to do a marketplace, you want to look for something that's widely fragmented, and agency services definitely are. Like if you think about social media marketing, how much does that cost? Right? Like social media posting.
People charge you, 500, 1,000, 1,500, right?
Right.
A month.
In there.
Yeah, somewhere around.
Yes. Well, one of the things that we're seeking to do is send out our price list to, our goal is to have 5,000 agencies receiving it. We have around 1,200 receiving them right now. But our goal is to have 5,000 receiving our price list once a week. And that will help establish the price of these commoditized items.
Oh, awesome. Okay. And so people would just... business owners that would be interested would just sign up on your website for that release?
AgencyHub.com.
Okay.
You can create a free account at the moment and start browsing products. There's full descriptions of them inside. Some of them have video descriptions, etc.
Okay. Wow. So what are you working on a daily basis? I mean, there's so much stuff to work on. You must be working on building out the next layer then, I guess, huh?
Yeah, it's always working on the business versus in the business. I try to spend 80% of my time working on. It's transactional emails, it's relationships with vendors, explaining the system to our current clientele. I spend a lot of time in design and web design, or not web design, but UI UX design of the system. Right?
Oh, yeah.
This takes 4 clicks to do it. Can we do it in 1? This takes 9 clicks to do it. Can we do it in 2? That type of thing.
Right. Yeah.
Just real examples like standardizing all our button sizes throughout the entire application, standardizing our checkboxes, right?
Yeah.
That type of thing.
Yeah.
So
great. That's really a lot of streamlining. That's a real level of complexity to make it that nice. That's awesome. So what do you?
The ultimate goal is you're building a real quick story. There's a tale of people, 2 guys, they're bringing water to a village. Okay. So they both set out to do it, and the water's about a half mile away. Right. So they set out to do it, and they're bringing the water, and the first guy, they're bringing in buckets, and they're both competing. Right. Then the second guy, he stops, and he gets an engineering firm, and they bring it in, and they dig a trench, but it takes 3 years to dig this trench and run the pipes and whatnot. And meanwhile, the guy with the buckets is loading up. He's got his family members doing it. They've got, maybe a truck or 2 going back and forth, or some kind of cart going back and forth. They're just killing it. They're dominating, right? And they're able to deliver water for, say, 50 cents a gallon, okay? And or $1 a gallon, and they're making good money on that. And then, but one day, the other guy, this is where I think we are, is we're building this marketplace, is we turn on the water to the village, and now we're providing water at 5 cents a gallon, right? The guy that was providing it at 50 cents a gallon, he can no longer compete because all of this back and forth is all gone. Right. Yeah. So that would be an example of there's a lot of agencies out there kind of spinning the wheels and whatnot, and we are going to create a scenario where businesses and primarily agencies can come and get products for their clients in one place and have their clients managed in one place as well.
That's awesome. I love that. That was kind of like my next question is what your advice for somebody who is a small agency owner like that would be, and to not what's that?
we would love to work with them.
Oh yeah. But to not waste your time on the back to forth trips, I think at the beginning, right, is that you're trying to get them to help them get the pipeline set up instead of spending all their energy on the back to forth trips.
That's another way to analyze that. Absolutely. And the other thing that we can do is, if you have a small agency, we'll help you grow that book of business with them, and then potentially purchase the agency from them as well.
Oh wow. Okay. Awesome. So you're always looking for up and coming people that are
absolutely.
Interested in joining.
Carl, you mentioned that you have several coaching students. We can help somebody who is maybe looking for a business. We can help them grow into an agency model as well. Just like in the early 2000s, there was a ton of people helping people get into real estate investing. We can help people get an agency model up and running to where they're now bringing in business. They don't have to know as much about the businesses. Nobody has to be the expert.
Right. Yeah. That's great.
Right. They can just bring them to us, and then our providers will kind of coach them through how things need to be done for the individual items they purchase.
Awesome. I love that. So you've been doing a lot of podcasts, I guess, too?
I've been appearing on a few, not an exorbitant amount, but definitely getting the word out there, and I enjoy it. Anytime you get to spread the message is fantastic, and and just I think that podcasts is a great opportunity to get into other aspects of a person's life too, not necessarily just keeping it always focused on the business message.
Right.
Yeah.
You never know what you're going to find really when you start focusing on people again, and you kind of forget a minute about the sales and the money and all that stuff, and start thinking about people and who they are and that sort of thing, and have real conversations with people. I think then that's when you actually discover things that are real, instead of just, it's like when you focus on one thing that you really want, you get all tensed up, and you it's all you think about, and you get obsessed over it, and you can never get a hold of it.
Right. Well, your students, what type of work do most of your students do?
I started working with entrepreneurs mostly at first, but
that's right. You mentioned that in our pre-call interview, where you were saying that they are part of bigger companies now.
Lately I've been doing more HR and IT and banking, even financial industry. Small and medium-sized businesses, they generally have more of a coaching budget.
Sure. And where do you see your coaching business going? What's the goal there?
Yeah, sure. Well, in addition to building out my portfolio and the services I offer, I'd like to partner with some other coaches, and like you say, building an agency, building a kind of a mastermind group of people to work with, and my idea is to offer more services through my page if I can, to help people in business. So if I can partner with other people to do that sort of thing. You obviously know a lot about that.
Yeah, very good, man. All right. Anything else we want to cover today?
I didn't have anything else in mind specifically. It's just so great hearing your story and everything you're working on there.
Awesome, man.
Do you have any advice for people like myself and the smaller time entrepreneur trying to struggle here?
Well, I would say that anything worthwhile definitely takes time. You have to apply yourself, and it's going to be
Yeah.
what I have found so far is about 18 months of suck, whatever you pick,
Right.
in order to get. I love the term flywheel. To get the flywheel going, so it's like you get a little further in a deal, you get a little further, you get a little further, and then you might get a deal, but then it falls out, and then eventually you're just getting these deals. It's like it goes up and it loops, and it goes up and it loops, and it, it's like you got to give whatever it is about 18 months of failure.
Yeah.
And I don't
I've seen
think
that.
many people that teach online stuff are going to necessarily tell you that online real estate, whatever it is, because if you were honest with people, it'd be tough to get them to buy your stuff.
Yeah. Right. Yeah.
And I've bought so many courses and techniques and tricks and whatnot.
Right.
I've never seen any of them really work out in a rapid fashion.
Yeah.
Right. And a lot of it is just hype to get you to buy it, and then there's 18 months of work on the backside. And then, the other thing always that I think is important to ask is if someone's selling something for, how to do something, and they're showing examples of it, just making money hand over fist, why aren't they just doing that? Why are they taking the time to sell it?
Right. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Yep. Definitely been there.
So I think that's an advice that I would share, and just educate yourself.
Yeah.
I think one is good is whatever you're into, make it your hobby as well, right? So you've heard people say, like, if you love something, you'll never work another day in your life. I think that's true to an extent, but even if you, let's say I had this bud down in Florida who he was really into skiing, and then he turned it into a ski trip tour business. And he's like, I took something I love and I turned it into something I hate.
Yeah, right.
Right.
I've heard that sort of thing. Yeah.
I don't know, for the saying I have is for every Kelly Slater, there's a million surfers that are just potheads instead, right? Just didn't quite make it to the pro circuit. Now, maybe they love what they do, right? Hopefully they're getting paid at least at some level for it. But I think that a lot of us the majority of us are going to do things more for the money than for the love of it, right? I mean, we have how many, white collar IT workers in the United States? It's like it's most of us at this point, right? And so not everybody's obviously doing it for what they love. I think that you can look at certain aspects of it. I get to work from home. That's an aspect of it I love. But it's not all going to be fun and games. A lot of times you have to sit and just grind through stuff and get the output that you're looking for.
Yeah. Yeah. Hey guys, that was all for today. I hope you enjoyed the podcast. And if you did, don't forget to like it and share it as much as possible. We'll meet here again, same time, same place, but with new guests. You can find me on Instagram, LinkedIn, and YouTube as well. I'm Karl, your friendly life coach, signing off. Take care. Bye.